did. We fought the whole war. Now that's why it took us so long. Back here. Yeah. You're good?
It's good now?
Okay.
Not fun.
Okay. We finished the whole book from where we left off. Dylan, what did you think? What do you think of this? Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll go next. I pretty much agree with most of the points. I really enjoyed this book. I think it's one of my top Brandon Sanderson books. Maybe top 3. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Wow. Yeah. I think part of it is like just how complete of a story it is as a standalone. Makes me, place it higher. Just I'm impressed by how well done it is as a standalone. But even not considering that, just as a full story, so good. Yeah, character development all around pretty much was excellent. The themes really worked. The themes of identity and like finding your place in an insane world where there's so many different factions. Really worked for everyone. Yeah, some of the character moments, like I didn't expect, like Vivenna's whole sequence, like in the streets, was just interesting. Like a curveball, I think, and some of the mercenary twists and the Blue Fingers twists were like okay, just okay. So those are fine. I think some, like the beginning, the ending kind of suffered from being a bit too short, a bit too rushed. But those are my minor complaints. I think overall it's very excellent book.
I really enjoyed the book. I don't know if I would say is one of my. I'd say it's the top half for sure of Brandon Sanderson. I think what makes me like it less, it might just be because it's not as long, and I just feel like other books, when you spend a lot more time with characters, you develop a lot more stronger connection, and I felt like I got to know the characters a lot more, so I just cared a lot more, and I feel like a lot of the characters in here, other than like maybe Light Song, where it was really devastating when it was really sad when he died, there wasn't a lot of like very, very strong emotions. Maybe that's just where I was at when reading the book. I think that has a huge influence too. I thought it was cool, the two sisters getting separated. It was interesting to see that their motives changed throughout the stories and how they very much changed and like switched spots in a lot of ways from the beginning to the end. I thought that was cool. I thought Vasher was a very interesting character. The hero that was a grumpy old man, which is a night cool. I thought Blushweaver was an awesome character. I thought there's a lot of really good characters. The God King. I didn't find like the super interesting twist with Blue Fingers being bad, but like I did think it made sense, and it was kind of satisfying to see that the priests were on the right side the whole way along, and like and their mentality did make sense, why they were doing what they were doing. And yeah, no, I found this book like hard to put down, and I think that says a lot. Like I haven't had. That's like the strongest thing I can say about it too. It's just I was very hooked on this book. I finished it extremely fast. I was always looking forward to reading it. Very, very fun book. I'd recommend it to anyone.
Nice.
I binged pretty hard, man.
Yeah, I think we all binged it at some point.
Yeah,
it's just like different times.
Just went.
Yeah. So I read like 300 pages in 2 days as well. Yeah, the plot kind of served as just like a platter to put all the interesting world building and dialogue on. It wasn't like, I feel like I wasn't really on the edge of my seat to find out what happens next. So it was more as like, what's this person going to think about this next? Vivenna was like by far my favorite character. Like, wasn't my favorite character in the first half, but crazy arc in the second half. Went all over the place. So
I liked her too. I didn't like.
Yeah,
I still don't understand why she didn't continue to try to save her sister, and she just abandoned that plan so fast. Does anyone know?
because she never really was into it.
I know, but what does that mean, bro? Like,
I know
it's
she's not a perfect person.
It's not even being a perfect person. It's being like a human being, in my opinion. Like, I don't understand that. But I think that there was a lot more of a disconnect. Like, they didn't have a strong connection. Yeah, but didn't she like come out and say like, "Oh yeah, it wasn't really my motive"? Like, I don't know.
I think it was more like discovering that about herself. That was true. I don't think she ever like intentionally thought that, but she realized that was happening.
Yeah, I didn't find that very satisfying. Maybe it's just because their connection was very strong in the first place, but I didn't find 10th was compelling her enough because it was so early on that switch of objective that I found that pretty frustrating.
It gets revealed over time though that they both resented each other at different points. Like Sierra's like, she's always the perfect person growing up, and I was just like,
yeah, but I think Sierra
always protecting me.
Loves Vivenna.
They do love each. Of course, they love each other, but it was like it's a weird relationship when it's like one of the children has to prepare for like being married off to some random dude.
Yeah, I guess I just don't understand the relationship very well, because to me it felt very.
I think it's
very odd.
It's a fair criticism.
Can I hear? Oh yeah, there we go. My mic was off the whole time up until this point.
Oh,
For the stream at least. Yeah. Well, welcome back.
nice. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh well. For recap, there's nothing to recap. I like the book. It was quite good. The plot was weak. Characters were great. That was my intro. Um.
Well, do we want to go character by character? That was just something I wanted to get out about Venna. I think that was my biggest criticism. Biggest frustration.
That wasn't L for Venna's character. If you were rooting for Venna,
Yeah,
that sucked. It did.
Yeah. I mean, she was like her whole kind of character plot was that she was very what's the word? She was very caught up in trying to figure out who she was. I think she kind of forgot about Siri because everything in her life was too
Crazy.
intense. And
I
she
think
gets
it's
like
just a very human moment.
yeah, Venna's whole thing as a character
least
is
human moment, man.
she kept being confronted
Oh, no.
by just like these life altering like dilemmas that questioned everything she'd ever believed in. And like you could tell as a character, like all of her introspective moments, she's just sitting there like thinking about and like bringing all of these like holy shit that conflicts with these two ideas can't coexist together, and like that's her whole brain is just focused on trying to resolve her contradiction as a person.
Yeah. She
And
finds
so
out
she
like 5
forgets
times
about
it's
her
not a good
sister
person.
who has been stolen by the God King. Also, I'm
Yeah.
super echoing in you guys.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring the mic away.
Ba-dum. Maybe that'll help. Seems like it helped a bit. I'm not hearing it anymore.
No? Okay. I guess also like she was brought up to be like a sacrifice for her community. And so she always was like very much seeing herself as something bigger than just herself. And so when she goes there, she might just see Siri as just another individual where she's really looking out for like her community.
Yeah, I think she sees like when she's with the mercenaries, her priority is to prevent the war from happening, and Siri is wrapped up in the war.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I think it's just like she was just trying to see the big picture, and then she just lost sight of who she was and what she actually represents and what she knows about anything. And she finds out she doesn't actually know the struggle for people. She doesn't know her own motivations, and it just keeps getting broken down. And I think it's a superhuman moment because it's not like she doesn't love her sister. It's just like she just gets lost in the sauce. And it's like
I don't know. The whole idea of getting lost
Yes.
lost to me, I don't understand, and I think that's not human at all. But I guess I can what I'm saying about like her being a sacrifice in general, to me, like that I can understand why like she always had to be looking at the bigger picture at all times in her whole life.
Everyone has moments where you just don't have capacity for other people.
I don't know, man. If I was going and my objective was to save you in a city because you were getting raped by a dude and you're potentially gonna get killed, I don't think I'd show up and be like, "Well, I'm gonna like forget about you, bro." I'd be coming after you.
Okay,
man.
well, forget is a bit harsh. I don't think she forgot about her,
Probably.
but-
Didn't even fucking talk about her, man, for like a long time. I don't know, man. Like it was like
I agree. It was a bit weird, but
like I never would object. I don't know what else is like.
Well, that's why the moment where Perrin is like, "Yo, we're here to save Siri." That's why we're here the whole time, and she's like a fucking breakdown. I think that's why it's so powerful because it's like she's like, "Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, what the fuck am I doing?
I definitely didn't see her as a bad person from that."
I think Brandon's kind of explanation for that, whether it's good or not, is the Denth and the what's it called? Oh man, I'm echoing again. Is that Denth and the other mercenaries basically like took her in when she came into the city, and then basically tried to use her for their agenda, and were pushing her in the direction that they wanted, even though Vivenna thought that they were doing things that she wanted. And I think that's kind of like when she finally gets with Vasher and he kind of explains things to her about about what's going on. That seemed like kind of his explanation for why. Like it kind of seemed like Vivenna was like, oh shit, like I did all this stuff, but like I was being manipulated by these people. Not that I agree that that's a good excuse, by the way. I'm just saying this is Brandon's like explanation for it.
Yeah, and I do think
I think it's a bad excuse.
I just think there were some conversations that I would have liked to have heard between Denth and Vivenna that would have made it more satisfying, if that's the case.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was weird that it wasn't brought up more. Let's see, it wasn't brought up more from Vivenna's perspective.
Did you guys see the mercenaries betraying her? I
didn't, but I feel like I should have.
Dude, same.
I didn't know.
I didn't either. I feel like there were so many plot twists here that I feel like normally Brandon has pretty good. Actually, I don't even know. I feel like I didn't see any of the plot twists coming in this book, which I feel like is maybe slightly poorly written in that sense, but I don't know.
There was, because in the commentary he talked about the foreshadowing with Blue Fingers, and there was foreshadowing there. Like I think that's kind of like what made it great is that like Vivenna often forgot who they were. The what are they called?
The Pankal.
The Pankal. Like, oh, you're just another.
You just follow this religion.
Yeah, who are you? So then it was like kind of cool. That was brought up multiple times that they were forgotten in the book, and like that was the whole purpose. That's why they were so pissed too. And then we all forgot about them too as readers. But there was a couple foreshadowing moments.
Yeah, there definitely was.
And then with the mercenaries was like a weird foreshadowing because their jokes weren't jokes. Like,
yeah, I feel like that one is like you can find some holes in it more than the Blue Fingers one in terms of a writing perspective, because like he literally has to spell out from Vivenna's perspective why it should have been foreshadowed. Like in the book, he's like, just because you have that internal dialogue from Vivenna being like, "Oh, I should have seen it. They were joking so much."
Yeah,
and it was actually happening. It's like I feel like that part needed to happen for you to be like, "Oh, I should have seen it coming."
But, the pets going missing was also a little sus, but yeah, I guess it's pretty hard to make that conclusion to like these guys are bad people. But like I did like that he's torturing them, and what else is he doing? But
yeah, I feel like we should have got it because we knew Vasher was a good guy.
Yeah, that is something we should have known,
dude. It was no, well, like even you're getting his POV from the book, and he's a good guy in the book, like without even knowing anything from Stormlight. Like Vasher's a good guy.
Yeah, well then I read the frickin'.
How did we know that though? Because I knew that too, but how did we know that?
Just the way he's acting, and the way that he's like presents himself from his POV.
Yeah. Because I always knew that. That's such a weird thing to know. Because the mercenaries, we trusted them a bit, and we always, whenever they'd talk shit about Vasher, I'd be like, there's something more going on here. But I never.
We said last time that he's in Stormlight.
Yeah, yes, but even before that, I didn't make that connection fully. I thought there was a connection with the sword, but I didn't necessarily know he was one of the people. I knew there was a connection with the sword.
Oh, so you knew he was a good guy, like right away.
Very quickly. Yeah. I'm not sure how I knew, but.
Well,
I'm not saying it wasn't evident. I'm just saying I'm not sure what exact moment it was like. I think because he had a POV that's pretty telling. But because we trusted the mercenaries and they were shitting on him the whole time. So like,
yeah, thankfully I didn't read the audiobook description from Audible before I got halfway through the book because it's the worst. It's the worst description I've ever seen. It says like the last line's like, and the mysterious Vasher, the Warbreaker. It's
Oh
like,
my
I'm
God.
like,
Dude, that's so
fuck?
ridiculous. There's no way they said that. That's so insane.
Dude, they actually, it's so bad, man.
Yeah. I will say, yeah, the back of the book made it really seem like it was gonna be like a love story between Ciri and Vasher, and they didn't even meet until like the the conclusion to the book,
The very end.
like literally final chapter. Because like it's like exiled in Idris, the former royal family reluctantly betrothed the princess to the God King. And then, like, she finds both the city and the marriage are not at all what she expected. Her only ally is Lightsong. Her only ally is Lightsong? Since when? Like, she talked to Lightsong twice the whole book. A god who
that's
is
Syrian.
skeptical
Syrian
of his
light song
people.
going together. Oh yeah.
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 And then, meanwhile, another new arrival makes cunning plans based on the unique magic of Hal. It was. I feel like the back of the book very much was unrepresentative.
Well, okay, now I'm thinking about it. Sorry about the Vasher thing. Like how knowing he was a good guy. The first chapter makes him seem ambiguous because he steals the breath from that guy.
Yeah.
So he could be a villain from that.
No.
I guess
He didn't
that
really
kind of was
steal
a
it.
positive.
Well, he didn't steal it because he framed it like he's helping him out.
Yes.
But
That's what
even
kind of.
so, man, that's some like
Yeah,
that's some sauce activity,
I-
bro.
It was.
That's-
It was like a positive
Yeah.
sort of. Keep going though.
No, so that was all I was gonna say. It's just like because he's like, "What are your plans?" Even he's like, "You don't even know my plans, bro." And he leaves. It's like
I think that might have been it though. Is that he's like, hey, it's either me or them, and the rebel's like, oh, I'm going with you.
yeah, I know his logic made sense given the context of what we knew at that time. But
And then we find out like all the terrible things about the lords and the gods and stuff, and so we know that okay, them is that. So he's not with them, so he must.
yeah,
be
it becomes after that quickly obvious that, or at least more obvious that he's.
Yeah,
He's probably
I feel like the tone of Vasher just didn't come across as like. I feel like there's a difference in tone between like an anti-hero and like making a villain whose justifications are like believable. And Vasher was squarely in the anti-hero category. Like he was not in like a villain who you're making justifications for. He wasn't doing the kinds of things and like having the kinds of thoughts that you get from like a villain. He was very much like anti-hero.
Main character vibes.
Yeah, he was very main character vibes rather than villain vibes, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And he ended up being like he were you guys expecting Vasher to be the fucking warlord that started the war like 300 years ago?
No.
Oh no, that was
I actually had an inkling that he might, just because it felt like they had brought it up, like the what's his face up so many times, and I'm like, okay, Vasher is old as fuck. He has to be someone from the past. What if he's like the war dude?
Yeah.
I had that thought like once or twice, and I was like, I'll just read it on and find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
But I had those thoughts
Cool
like
that he's
way
in the
later in the
sunlight,
book,
too.
like 3/4 through maybe.
Yeah, he's done some stuff, you know. He's lived his life. You know, he's been living life for a while.
Yeah.
He's the god. He's been an ancient god. He's a fucking spoilers for Stormlight, by the way, Rhythm of War. But he's a garrison leader or like a soldier in the army. I forgot that he fought Kaladin with ropes. That's obvious. Yeah.
Was that from Rhythm of War? Or was that from Oathbreaker?
It's one of the two. I think it's Rhythm of War.
No, I think it was Rhythm of War.
So that's when we get That's when he gets like the I'm a type 2 invested entity.
Yeah.
Dude, I was just about to get into that. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
When there was that scene where he's explaining all the different kinds of like awakenings with the breaths to Vivenna, and it's just like, this is what I didn't understand during this part in Stormlight. This is just how
Yeah.
Asher acts normally.
That was really good. I really enjoyed that from Vivenna's perspective.
Oh.
Him being like him just jumping into this lecture style like discussion, and she's like, really, dude, like this is how you're gonna present this material to me. And then he gets like more casual as he goes on, and she starts asking questions. It just felt very natural.
And also like he took on like a scientist vibe. Like he was like, oh, this guy doesn't just know, like he's actually like an expert on this. Like,
yeah, he's an expert in the field and he's continuing to experiment all the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just
So
goes
should we
into,
go
like, this-
character by
basically, like,
character?
this lecture. It was pretty funny.
Mm.
I'm really curious though.
Oh.
There's got to be some explanations on how how and why Vasher made it to the Stormlight universe. Like, what the fuck is he doing on Roshar? Like, like what the hell?
Yeah, how'd he get there?
And why did he go there?
Yeah, I feel like
So he
I
obviously accessed
definitely have to
Shades
go
there.
look that up, or maybe on a reread, go be like, okay, wait, what the hell? Was there any hints dropped as to why the fuck you're here?
Yeah.
Oh, and then your boy
We're missing-
Hoyd.
we're just
your
missing the
boy
sub-
Hoyd showed up.
There's no more oh yeah, Hoyd showed up. At one point. Tell the story.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
There might be a sequel to Warbreaker too. So maybe Warbreaker. So maybe it'll be in that.
Yeah, the epilogue was quite cringe, I thought. It was just like,
Wow,
what?
this is the epilogue again?
He was just like, oh yeah, I've heard my brother, or like, I ever heard of Huth and Kuth? Yeah, it's like someone's trying to restore them, a tyrant. And it's like, is he related to Arsteel? Oh yeah, they're brothers. Even better. I'm bored, Nightblood said. Pay attention to me. And it was that page. I was cracking up reading it because I'm like, this is maybe the most cringe thing I've ever read. It just was like the most like, oh, okay, this is a page where you're just like setting up the most like cringy plot points for your sequel.
Yeah.
It's been done 1,000 times where the two main characters walk off into the sunset and they're having like
oh yeah, your brother is doing something in the other kingdom. Oh, I guess we better go take a look at that. Like, come on, Brandon.
Oh, I like how Vivenna and Ciri's father is just like, what the fuck's going on, bro? My kids just left.
Yeah.
They're gone forever now. My family's torn apart.
I know. And she just leaves, man. She just leaves.
Vivenna's like, I'm going on an adventure.
Vivenna's crazy, man.
Yeah, I think there was definitely some more space to maybe criticize the Idrian philosophy a bit more, because like we got a few of those things, but like the Idrians weren't very good either. Like there was that one point where Vivenna's like, oh yeah, and like, or when she first gets captured by Vasher, and then she's going over her like the thoughts in her head on like how she was trained to escape from captivity when she gets captured, and she's like, yeah, you want to like escape in like the first couple days, they'll try and starve you, and you want to just try and get away, and if you die it's better than getting staged so that you can't be used as a pawn against the Idrian monarchy.
I thought that was just good training.
Yeah.
I don't think it speaks to Idrian philosophy. I think that's just as good.
Yeah, it felt like good training,
was,
but also like
no, sorry, that bit was okay, and then it was like oh yeah, and then like your father might have to send an assassin to kill you if like you can't escape, but like that's just kind of like how it is, you know.
That's just the way she goes.
That's just the way she goes.
I don't know. Unrelated point, kind of related also. I just finished the Shogun series.
Oh, I heard it's incredible. Is it good?
It's incredible.
Oh, okay, I have to watch it then.
It's not very historically accurate, but in the show at least they do crazy shit like that all the time. They're like, okay, we gotta okay, you gotta go there and commit suicide in front of this person so that we can do this. We can have this advantage for the next battle. So it's like, they're like, all right, I'll do it. I'll serve I'm in. You just do it, and it's like so many people go committing suicide all the time. and you're like, okay. So, and then I read this, and I was like, I just unfazed because
You've
Yeah,
seen
that's
it
what-
on screen, brother.
yeah, I've seen it, bro. But apparently, it's not very accurate to real life from what actually happened. But yeah, the Adrian philosophy, I feel like it was criticized a fair amount throughout the book.
Yeah, it was.
Like
it was.
from Jules. Jules criticized it quite a bit.
That was also another hint. Jules' vibe the whole time towards Ravenna would have been a hint that they were going to turn. Because
Yeah.
she acted really odd.
And that she was working with the Halandrons. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, and they literally pointed out that like, yeah, it is odd, hey? Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Mercenary shit.
Yep.
You know?
wait, but they were employed
Yeah.
by the Parth people, so which was actually against Halandrin.
Pankal.
So maybe they thought it was for Halandrin trying to do it all, but it wasn't actually.
Yeah, who knows if it was actually
Oh,
they
right,
thought
'cause
it
I
was
think
Alendrin.
Yeah, I think the Poncon were wearing they had stolen like the priesthood clothing, so that they were basically like, impersonating the God King's priests.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think what happened inferred, it's not clear, but well, definitely they pretended to be the priests when working with Blushweaver. And it's unclear if they were pretending to be the priests when they were working with the mercenaries as well, but probably.
Mm.
Talk about Vasher. Talk about Vivenna.
Syria
Is there
and the God
anything
King.
else you want to talk about Vivenna? I like her plot, because basically she goes to. Well, let me summarize Vivenna. Ciri gets taken to Halandrin. Vivenna chases after her to try to save her. Gets picked up by some mercenaries who act like they're helping her, but is actually just making her do things. And then she gets stolen by Vasher. She escapes from Vasher. The mercenaries think that she caught onto them and killed her friend. And then she ends up escaping from them and then is homeless on the streets for 2 weeks. And then Vasher comes and finds her, and then they like do some shit and kill Denth eventually and save the world because he actually was the warlord. He had a bunch of dudes.
Yep. Definitely the wildest storyline for Vivenna.
Yep.
Yeah.
Her friend dying. What was his name again?
Perrin.
Something I can't remember his name.
Perrin?
Yeah. Like
I don't think
No,
it was.
it's not Perrin. It's close to
It
that.
can't be Perrin. Yeah, that's Wheel of Time.
Parlin.
Parlin. Same thing.
Perrin's in Wheel of Time. Big character.
Yeah, after Perrin, Parlin.
That was an element. That was shocking.
But also, it's like we
That
didn't
was
even.
pretty
He had
wild.
like 2 lines. I felt like in the book. Yeah.
He didn't have that much in the book, but he had a thing for Jules, and they were gonna go far.
I just
That
know
was
it.
not
You know
gonna
it.
happen. I like that scene with Vivenna and Parlin was so funny. Where she's just like, "Yeah, Parlin loves me. He's just following me and doing this all because he loves me." And then like she finally like because like he's like going after Jules, and then he's like, "Vivenna, you fucking hate me. You're just so mean to me all the time." And then she's like stunned as if like.
And she doesn't even like him too. She's just
Yeah,
angry that
she's just angry that
he doesn't
he
like
doesn't
her.
yeah.
That is
Yeah.
bad. That is a bad.
That is pretty whack.
A
but-
bad view of me, bro.
No, she's not. No. She's like very the most complex character in the book.
Yeah, definitely the most complex character in the book. Absolutely. I really liked her like
Yep.
realization when she started talking with the Idrians that like, oh, like these people like her like conflicting ideas on like what Idrian people are, and then like all of that with them being so poor in Halandren, and then they've had to leave because the Idrian king has basically failed them as a society, and they're having to resort to going to
Yep.
Halandren to solve their
Yeah.
problems. And then her realization that like the Idrian, they are still Idrian people, and then she's just had like this deluded ideal of like what it is to be Idrian from like living in a palace her whole life.
Yeah, I think she just starts out as a not very good person who thinks she's a good person, and by the end of the book, she's more. It's flipped. It's like she still has a bit of both the darkness and the
Yeah,
and the-
it's kind of fucking cringe that what's it called? Nightblood didn't kill her when she picked the blade up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Like,
Good point.
as if Vivenna, of all people, has less intrinsic evil than half the other people that pick the sword up and start killing everybody. I feel like that
Like
plot
random
point.
guards do it.
I feel like that plot point was definitely like a like defeated its own purpose, because I feel like one of the themes of the book is like there's like everyone's so fucking complicated, and everyone has differing, like not everyone's just good and not evil and just evil. And the fact that like it doesn't really make sense why Nightblood didn't kill her, or like why he likes her. I don't understand why Nightblood likes her and doesn't think she's evil or has evil in her.
Well, it's completely flawed. Nightblood is completely flawed.
Yeah.
He has a certain idea of what evil is, and there's no such thing as just pure evil and pure good. And so it's just, I guess, his perspective of evil doesn't fit Vivenna. But like what we think is evil and what's good is very different than Nightblood.
Yeah. Or I don't see from what perspective
yeah, it is weird.
Nightblood's viewing her is such that she is less or more evil than, or like less evil than
Well,
everyone
Vivenna
else
wouldn't
that
like
picks up the blade.
wouldn't steal, like she didn't steal like a lot of classic things that make a person a good or a bad person she wouldn't do. Like she would never
Yeah,
think to
that's
kill
fair.
someone, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know.
from like a children's book perspective,
Yeah.
she's not evil, which is probably what Nightblood
Yeah.
understands. But yeah, I agree. It's not very well explained. It's definitely one of the weaker points.
Yeah, that's
But-
kind of fair actually. Now that I think about it a bit.
But yeah, she get the homeless 2 weeks part. It's
Yeah,
the
realizing
turning
that yeah, it was basically like her experiencing the Idrian plight in Halandren from a first-hand perspective, and realizing that like she would stoop to those lows that the other Idrians have, and like not follow her religion to stop herself from starving.
Yeah, I did find that super interesting. That it like she was just looking so she was so shocked that Adrian people had sunk so low. And then she like couldn't understand why. And then her understanding like why they're there in the first place, like we talked about, with them not having a place in the kingdom and all the crap they went through with the king and her father. And then when they get there, they're completely judged, and like everyone's really racist towards them. And so they have to stoop to like the lowest low jobs and stealing and prostitution and all these different things just to get by. And how a lot of them don't want to go back to the kingdom, even if they had a choice. Like this is better than it's just it was very interesting for Ravenna to have that understanding and I don't know, I learned from that too. Like that's what happens,
Agreed.
It was a classic device that was used well.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I like Vivenna's and Vasher's banter. I thought it was fun and enjoyable. Flowed pretty well.
So the girl on the front of the book is Venna, yeah. Or is it Ciri? I still don't know. I mean, Ciri
Still
never
don't
has a
know.
sword, so
Yeah, it must be the
She's-
sword and it must be Savannah.
She's breathing. Yeah, she's breathing the colors out.
Yeah.
So it's gotta be Savannah.
Savannah.
Mhm.
He uses breath. She's a generational talent at using breath.
Sorry, what's this generational talent using breath?
Vivenna. Just like
It's also a lot
very-
easier to learn the more breath you have, and she has a lot of breath. That is also something. But I do think that Vasher would have taken that into account when saying that. But yeah, she's.
He says this is too advanced for you when she does it. Like the climbing with the ropes and stuff.
Mhm.
And that's because
Vasher's
also
kind of
partly-
an asshole.
Yeah, Vasher's an asshole. It works well.
Like,
Right.
is that exact?
Yeah.
That's exactly how he taught people in Stormlight too.
Yeah, she's also part god, so that's gotta help.
Yep, it's true.
So
Sure.
that was crazy. Like, oh yeah, if you wanted to change things about you, other parts about you could. What?
Right. Ciri and the God King.
Hop over to Ciri,
Move on.
the God King. So where we last left off, Ciri had figured out that the God King's tongue had been cut out, so he couldn't use any of his stuff against the priesthood, or at all.
Yep. I think I was probably a bit less interested in the Ciri God King plotline.
Yeah, you didn't like
It
them
felt
falling in
like-
love.
No, that was fine. I think it was expected,
Yeah,
but it was more like Ciri's investigations of people was like just like necessary for the plot, but I didn't find it surprising or really engaging.
yeah, that's fair. She didn't really
Because-
learn much at all.
Yeah, exactly. Necessarily, she had to learn not that much for the plot to work, and it was just like, yeah. That's how I felt about it. So, like she'd talk to Blue Fingers, then she'd get some information. The interactions were interesting, like the like mental chess with people, and then Lightsong giving her advice about how to act very average to make everyone else believe that that if they get a small advantage over you, they actually do have the advantage over you.
Yeah.
Which was good advice, and it was interesting to see her try to integrate that into her conversations with people.
Yeah, with the blue finger
Yeah,
at the
she learned
end.
that. Yeah,
That was a bit of a 200 IQ like resolution from her at the end. That it was actually blue fingers.
What was it? Oh yeah,
Yeah. She figured it out.
200 IQ.
That was big, and that was like a stressful situation, like a very stressful situation. She just all clicked in that second. That was nuts.
Like, did you guys figure that out before she did, or no? I didn't.
No.
No. Impressive. She's smarter than I thought.
Yeah. Or I think I always thought Ciri was quite intelligent. She seems quite intelligent throughout the whole book.
Yeah, I never thought she was not intelligent. I just like
Her maturity.
that was another level.
Yeah.
And maturity was low,
Yeah, that's true.
and it did grow. Especially in the first half or first third. I was commenting on that a lot. That was frustrating at times, but she definitely grew.
So then
A lot.
Ciri starts reading bedtime stories to Susebron, the God King, and communicating to him by him using like a notebook to communicate with her. And then they slowly end up falling in love. I thought it was good. Bit
Yeah.
cheesy
Yep.
at some points, but less cheesy than any other love story I've read.
And I like the God King's character.
Yeah, I really like Susebron. He was cool.
Like it was like it was well done to have him be intelligent but also clueless about society, and
Yeah.
then those two things coming and merging.
Yeah.
Did he just get a knowledge injection when Lightsong gave him breath though? Like what happened to him? He became like a supreme leader at the end of the book.
Did he? I don't even think he really did. Because in that conversation with Vasher, he was just like, "Yeah, I don't know anything." Like,
Yeah, I guess he seemed more childish when he was writing Siri, and then when he started speaking, I just imagine like he's Morgan Freeman now. So,
Well,
I
he had
kind of,
so many powers at that point too, though. Like, I don't know.
I feel like you could
I don't know. I guess
also
it was the
see his evolution through his writing. Like early on, his writing was a lot more childish, and you could see as I feel like there was a like clear
progression.
evolution to or progression to like his eloquence in writing throughout the book. And I feel like the where he left off in the book was kind of where his character ended up. Like he could be eloquent with speaking, but he didn't understand necessarily all the things. Like when like he might have been eloquent talking when he finally got his tongue back. But
They still don't have the knowledge. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
like with I feel
yeah.
like the conversation with Vasher at the end kind of showed that. And I don't really remember anything that he said that was too like, oh wow, that's out of character.
yeah.
He definitely had that era of
His
command.
tone, yeah, the command, the power that he had.
Yeah. But then or Siri was like, "Oh my god, I didn't think his voice was so deep." I didn't imagine his voice to be so deep. Because yeah, remember they
Because
also
Never gonna read that line the same way.
Yeah,
again after
exactly,
hearing that,
Dan.
Dylan.
They corrupted that line.
corrupted it. That's how it was meant to be read, bro. Um,
You corrupted it in my mind.
corrupted it in your mind. The what was I gonna say? The something else to remember is what Vasher said in like the epilogue is that the returned can basically choose or like project what they appear like. So dude's like, I got my tongue back. I can control everything. I'm a fucking god, bro. So that's like his perception of himself, right?
Right.
Yeah, so he probably became even more handsome.
Exactly.
And his voice probably wasn't even that deep, but he made it that deep.
But what even is his voice if it's not because they're whatever they think they are, right? So that do they even have a
Yeah.
real voice?
Yeah, he's 7'4". He's jacked. Gotta have a deep voice. Right? Can't sound like Mickey Mouse. Man.
Yep.
Can't sound like.
Don't make sense.
Mhm.
Any more on Siri and Susebron?
Susebron.
I guess then there's
Susebron.
there's
Yeah, I looking back, I kind of liked that the priesthood was kind of what's the word? Not like innocent, but I feel like it was a good analogy
Actually,
for
more religion.
like like two warring factions that have this like history behind them that they think is just like evil and war and they're both just trying to live the best way that they feel like they
Live
can.
and live by their own beliefs.
Yeah.
Yep. And they were religious. They did believe in the gods.
Yeah. They respected the God King.
Yeah, they did feel bad for him.
Thought it was a big comical though. Even though I liked it, it was like she's like, "You're gonna kill him. You're gonna end his life." They're like, "Bro, we're just gonna let him live his own life, man.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna let him go and just live his own life, have a happy family."
Yeah.
Yeah, cause Siri
That was
basically
Most
was
opposite.
like, "Oh my God, every God King before us." Like she's doing her research, and she's like, "Every God King, every time they have a child, they die like in the next month." So the god they must
Yes, they get sent
place
away, I
the
guess.
new returned and kill the old god king.
Yeah.
But really they're just like, okay, yeah, whenever a new baby return comes, we retire the old dude and let him live his life.
Yeah, I know. It was
Yeah.
like the most opposite. Like, yeah, considering that was one of the biggest points for Siri, like that was her internal conflict for like 20 chapters.
Yeah.
That was a bit disappointing.
Yeah,
But
true. Yeah, that was she knew had that knowledge for so long. Yeah, that was probably the weakest point of the Siri thing is like she learned everything so quickly and then didn't learn anything for like 20 chapters.
yeah, yeah. Yep. She just like questioned people and got very little information back.
It was like slowly like convincing the God King that his religion, everything was false.
Yeah.
Maybe the priests are bad. And the next chapter, the priests are not bad.
Just runs like for
He's like,
15
"Bro."
chapters. He's like, my priests are great. I love my priests.
Yeah. All that.
Your priests are fucking evil. They're trying to kill you. Please listen to me. Please listen to me. It's chapter 16. Okay, I think my priests are evil. Chapter 17. In fact, my priests are not evil.
Confirmed, not evil. Confirmed. Yeah. So that was a bit jank, but still, God King cool. Good.
Homie. You think he's gonna come save everyone
Light
in Stormlight? No, I'm kidding. Not gonna happen.
Our boy, Light Song.
Light
Song of Light.
song.
What is there to say that hasn't already been said?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Such a fucking hilarious twist at the end with Larimar. It just fucking breaks.
Yeah.
He's like, you are
Yeah.
a fucking scribe. You were a fucking scribe.
I knew it was gonna be something pathetic.
Yeah.
I knew it. I just like I think that's pretty predictable, but like
I didn't expect him to pick up the sword and like start fighting and
Yeah.
immediately get wrecked.
That was so good.
Correct, yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It just his wit is just so good. His conversations with Blushweaver were just like the funniest shit.
Yeah.
And the cleverest, funniest shit. Like
And Blushweaver actually like loved them.
Yeah, she loved
Yep.
him. She legitimately thought he was the best
Yeah.
person.
Which was like
Yeah.
the whole time, it's like you thought she was playing games, but
She was a savage
yeah.
to everyone. But
it's like
Actually, was she even really a savage? Like I think by the end of it,
she
it
was
was
a savage
kinda...
to Siri.
Yeah, that's true. She was. She was a vindictive bitch against Siri.
Yeah.
But I think that's just because she really liked Light Song and was like worried Siri was like corrupting her. But
Yeah,
still,
she
she
thought
was an
I think she really
absolute
did.
like, don't you fucking sleep in his bed, you slut.
Yeah, that was intense. That was really intense. Like, shit. I guess she legitimately thought Siri was like an assassin or something. But,
Yeah.
yeah, and she was. Well, she
She
was
was
a
paranoid.
villain in the
She
end.
was paranoid, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
She was working for the wrong things.
Yeah.
She wasn't a villain. She was just like
I feel like she
just
was
got
set
manipulated
up to
hardcore and then went all in.
Yeah, like she was set up the whole book that she was gonna be a villain, but she ended up just doing things for her own reasons that I feel like were legitimate reasons given her like place in society and everything. Like I feel like she had good reasons to do the things she was doing, I think. And it kind of just ended up being for the wrong reasons and for the wrong people.
Her biggest mistake, her biggest downfall was being convinced that the war was inevitable right away.
Yes.
And just going all in.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like she had similar downfall as I feel like she actually had like quite a similar plot to Vivenna in the background, but on the other side, and she didn't have someone to break her out of it until it was too late.
She got the bad ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, rough ending for Blushweaver. fuck,
Just gets
very
slaughtered.
very bad for
Yep.
her.
I didn't even
Very
realize
unfortunate.
until right now that like
Yeah.
her and Vivenna's like story arcs were almost identical. Or not identical, but like that one
Oh,
aspect of like they both were convinced that the war was inevitable and then they're working against each other.
yeah, they were in this at one point for a decent amount of the book. They were in the same position, but then she didn't have the whole,
Yeah.
the life altering events that happened to Vivenna that helped to break her out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Light Song
died.
2.
Gets killed. So then Light Song will take it seriously. Give the phrase.
Get the codes. But yeah,
It is weird, yeah. Like Light Song was playing, like it was kind of a game to him. Like they call him out, and it was kind of like a game to him the whole time until then.
yeah, it was a game to him. But then I like those moments where he keeps having the dreams of war, the oncoming war, and he's taking it more and more seriously. And he's his fear that he's actually predicting the future becomes more and more palpable as the book goes on. And then it culminates in the fact that he chooses Red Panther as the security phrase, and he's like, "Now is the time. Like this is real now. Like this is legit." And he still has a part of his personality is to be humorous, so he's still going in being stupid with the sword and stuff, and like he's still playing the game. It still is a game for him.
It's a game. He's
yeah.
taking the game seriously, but it's still a game. I feel like.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before it wasn't taking anything seriously.
Yeah.
Dude, this Warbreaker
That was
would
good,
be
man.
such
That was a crazy part, man. Just
Warbreaker-
slaughter Blush Weather.
Yeah. Warbreaker would be such a good movie, dude.
Yeah, it would be really good.
Like I feel like it would be such like an like I feel like it's such an ironic thing that like this guy who like, you gotta like, but he's such a fucking joke. Light Song. I mean, you love him, but like he's such a joke, and he takes everything so unseriously. And like to see him finally just get like this guy's literally been sitting in his fucking getting pampered for his whole life, and then he's taking everything like a joke, and then he finally tries to do something right, and then he just gets smacked because he's taking it unseriously like the rest of his life. Pretty satisfying scene.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought it was a good balance of him getting roasted, but then also like afterwards being like consoled and like he did still really respect Light Song. Lardmar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he just broke for a second there.
Yeah, well, he's been needled the whole time about his past, and finally when it matters most. But yeah, but like
and then Light Song finally gets
like the
his
whole
gift
time
from God.
Oh yeah,
he's like, oh fuck, I actually am a god, and then he's like, all right, I know, Susabron, I'm gonna heal you.
all the colors drained from him,
and that's the reason he came back.
He saw the God King crying.
Yeah.
The religion was proven true. It is the real religion, guys. This is the Bible.
Yep.
We know, confirmed. The correct religion is the iridescent tones. You heard it here first.
Yep.
I like the right before the sword fight. He's like, this is I'm actually living. I actually didn't care at all about living until I'm experiencing danger and like excitement in my life, and then he immediately dies. But
yeah, so sad.
Yeah.
Do we know if there's a shard on Warbreaker's planet? Because something's causing the returns to come back. I guess there must be a shard. Actually, there has to be a shard, given they have powers.
There has to be a shard there.
Yeah, given there's investiture and shit. Yeah, I'm curious what's going on in the background with the with the returns, like why sometimes people will return to life.
Oh, and it is genuinely out of like a legitimate act they did too. Found that out.
How is that possible though with like a child that's like 2 years old?
Yeah, I don't know how they didn't talk about that.
I feel like it is kind of random, maybe. Maybe there's yeah, it's hard to know.
I'd find it hard to believe it'd be random if Lardmar actually believes in the religion still. You know, unless Lardmar didn't know.
maybe that one aspect is just not true.
Yeah, maybe there's like maybe it's like it just happens, but then like people of like very strong wills can also like force it to happen, kind of. Like I feel like we've kind of seen some of that with like some of the like um I mean like go look at what's his face? Kelsier.
Yep. Yeah.
Hmm.
You go to Shadesmar. Everyone goes to Shadesmar. They die, presumably.
Yep.
So
All right. Well,
um,
anything else before we go into highs and lows?
Do you want
nothing.
to talk about the Vasher Denth conflict at all, about like their past history thing? I feel like there's not too much to go on
yes.
with that, but
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I didn't have much to say on it.
I thought it was quite interesting with the obviously there's a lot of stuff in the past with that. Um, yeah, Basher killed Dent's sister because she created Nightblood and it was too dangerous, I think, was what I got.
Yeah. She figured out how to create type 2, type 3,
Type 4
type 4 investors.
sentient objects.
Yeah,
I,
there was
I like the storyline of like we gave it the perfect command. We thought destroy evil.
Yeah.
We didn't realize. Yeah, that was good.
if you read the what's it called? The Ars Arcanum. Greater Awakening. Persons of the ninth heightening are reportedly able to awaken stone and steel, though doing so requires large investitures of breath and specialized commands. So she needed to have been of the ninth awakening to be able to do that.
Just near God King level.
Which is 20,000 breaths, approximately.
Pretty insane. And yeah, Denth. Been trying to kill him ever since. So
I like that like when he said that you killed our steel. Not our steel.
yeah, our steel.
Our steel, yeah. And a fair duel. And then like as pro Vasher, we're like Vasher definitely killed him in a fair duel. And then that comes out both times you messed him up with like unfair tactics.
But
like a really cool way.
Genius play.
Yeah, like not like unfair, like but like yeah, not a fair duel.
Definitely not a fair duel, but still huge big plays.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, how sick and were Denth and Arsteel that they're better than Vasher, and Vasher's like the god duelist in Stormlight.
Yeah, and now they're gone.
Yeah.
We lost like two of the best ever.
The best ever do it. The goats of sword fighting.
Yeah. Vasher was also messed up though during that fight though. Like, I don't know. He probably still would have lost, but
yeah.
Wasn't even close.
Yeah. I like how it was really interesting when he was getting tortured by Denth. And then Vasher's like, oh, it's not as fun as he thought it would be, eh? And then Denth's like, fuck. It's true. But he still does it anyway. So that's pretty messed up.
Yeah. Too far gone.
Highs and lows.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
I think my
All
high
right,
is gonna
highs and
be
lows.
my high is gonna be I think Vivenna's introspection scenes. Um, specifically when she's trying to figure out like who she is as a person.
Good pick. Um, yeah, I also want to go to Vienna for my high. Found it most interesting in the second half. Specifically, though, I guess definitely the introspection scenes, and then maybe more specifically the meeting with the gang leaders, like the reflection on that from her, and also the scene where Parlin is like, "What the hell? You're always so mean to me," and you forgot about Siri. Even though that was like kind of a plot hole that we agreed on, I still thought it was a intense moment, and I liked it. So
Yeah, I'm blanking on a high, but I will say one of the highs was just her coming to the realization of the faults of the Adrian community kingdom, and just realizing all the destruction that's caused and where people have gone and why they're doing what they're doing. I thought that was really interesting. And then my low, I already talked about. Just Venice, how quickly she went to losing sight of saving Siri, and how that wasn't explained very sufficiently, in my opinion.
yeah. Also, Light Song Sacrifice is a high.
Yeah. Light Song was just the whole, all of Light Song was a high. I definitely would say it's the most enjoyment per word for me. Havana had a lot more screen time.
It's true. It's true. I think my low is gonna be the the conclusion to the plot felt a bit just like by the numbers.
Yep. I was gonna say the same thing. The ending.
Yeah. I think I had a weak conclusion to the plot, just in that like a classic Brandon Sanderson where he's like, "Oh shit, I've written too much. Gotta finish."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Like
are
I
we,
feel
what
like
are
I
we
would
at
have
now?
liked to
Oh,
see some
600.
stuff maybe with like maybe like the Idrian King's reaction to stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it would have been
There's
interesting if this book was like 100 pages longer and we got his perspective throughout.
Yeah.
Too.
he wasn't kind of the focus, but just like a thing at the end, just seeing like his. I mean, it actually probably wouldn't have been that interesting. Like we only really care about Vivenna and Ciri's POV, I think.
Yeah, well, based on his one chapter, he's not very interesting, but I think it could have been fleshed out, where he has to make all these tactical decisions throughout. Yeah, my low is also the ending, probably just being rushed. It felt the meeting felt very artificial between all the main characters, just like something that had to get checked off the list.
That was not great.
It's like Siri and Vivenna did not have a like meet up. Like they didn't.
No.
They met and it just like had nothing happen. Nothing between them. No, no energy. No relationship.
Yeah, it was like, hey sis, I love you. By the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on an adventure with this random 300-year-old man.
Yep.
And I'm gonna be married to this guy. This god. All right, see ya.
Wait, is Vivenna what's her face?
Who?
From fucking Stormlight?
Stormlight?
The princess. What's? Oh my god, it is, isn't it? The woman who is leading the people in Oathbreaker, was it? The City Watch person. Remember there was that princess woman who let them to the aluminum cage thing.
Aluminum cage thing. What? I can't remember. I feel like I'm blanking so hard. On
Warbreaker.
this.
Remember there was some princess we didn't know who she was.
And didn't she have a sidekick?
No.
Did she have a sidekick?
I don't think she did, or maybe she did. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look this up.
I'm thinking of like where they led them to the city when they were in that world with
Vivenna
like
Cosmere.
court scene. Like,
the in Shadesmar.
yeah. And then
Yeah,
like,
she's
leave.
Azure. She is.
Yeah, they leave the city.
Yeah, High Marshal
Yeah.
Azure. Remember?
Oh my!
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my
It is
Is that,
her.
is that the same
That-
one I'm talking about?
Is she in Shadesmar? I think she is.
Is that the only time we see her though?
No,
She
she's
goes
in
into
she's in the
Shadesmar,
city,
yeah.
the city of the capital city of.
Yeah, she's in. Yeah, she was in Kolinar.
Where the court scene happens?
No, she's in Kolinar. She's the city watch captain of Kolinar.
Oh. Oh yeah.
High
Yeah, I remember that
Marshal,
person. Yeah. Damn. That's crazy. I gotta go back and read that now.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's
I
crazy.
literally just yeah. And I just looked it up right now, and she is, yeah.
Damn.
Damn, good shout, Dylan. I totally forgot about
Nice.
that. I did not make that connection.
I was like, dude, she went off with Vasher. Where the fuck is she?
Cool. Okay, well I gotta run. But that was a great pod. I'm looking forward to it. We'll present the next book. It looks like next book is
Slaughterhouse 5, like Kurt Vonnegut.
yeah.
So that's the next book.
We'll have that ready for you guys next week for all our subscribers.
Get ready.
All right.
Sit your calendar. The next
Mark the date.
mark the date.
All right. See you guys next time. We've been Books on Tap.